Hey guys, what's up? It's Charlie here, and today we're going to be looking at 10 scary videos caught on GoPro Camera. So, GoPro cameras have revolutionized how people take videos. Instead of having to shield your very delicate and expensive camera, you can take your GoPro anywhere. But sometimes people catch some very scary and unexplained things on their GoPros. Before we get into it, why not subscribe and press the notification bell too. Coming in at number 10 we have Creature. So this piece of GoPro footage was caught by an amateur bike rider. The cyclist goes by the name Bexon Production. One day he was cycling around on a trail near his home. He was with a friend, but his friend had gone up ahead. Bexon was behind his friend and he cycled up an alleyway. But as he was going through the alleyway, a mysterious creature leapt out right in front of his bike. Bexon described this as some kind of dog-monkey hybrid. If you check out the footage, it does kind of resemble a monkey. It certainly jumps like one, except it doesn't look like a monkey whatsoever. It's got no hair and is grey like a space alien. Is this Roger from American Dad come to life? Whatever this grey creature is, it really scared Bexon. There's a noise right after this creature hits the floor. Either it's a noise made by the creature or a noise from Bexon's bike as he swerves so he doesn't hit this creature. Or it could have been Bexon almost shouting by this creature jumping in front of his bike. This was a near miss and very scary for him. But what do you think this grey creature really could be? Next up is Gas Station Shadow. So this footage was caught by a biker named Ben S. Ben always rides a GoPro when he's riding his bike for various safety reasons and also to capture interesting things. One day he was doing something very mundane, simply getting some more gas. After he filled up his bike, he was using the ATM to pay for the gas. That was when a shadow passed by right behind Ben. At first he thought someone was walking up behind him, so he turned around. But he then realized no one was there. If you slow this footage down, you can see it was definitely the shadow of a humanoid. And the reason I say humanoid and not human is because many people think this could have been a shadow monster. Shadow monsters are things many people have caught on camera before. But do you think that's what Ben saw at this gas station? What's strange is you actually see the shadow disappear before it even passes past Ben. Now, shadows can sometimes be complex, and others have said maybe this was something in the background like a plastic bag in the wind. But if you look closely, this is clearly the outline of a human-like being. Next up is Great White. One thing that's cool about GoPros is they're waterproof. This means that people like divers and swimmers can take their GoPro with them to record their dives and swims. But of course, in the deep, vast oceans, scary things lie beneath. And what could be scarier than a great white shark? One day a man was diving off the coast of South Africa. He was deep down in the sea and recording his dive using his GoPro. That was when the man named Johan saw a great white shark appear right next to him. Great white sharks can move at ridiculously fast speeds. So it's no wonder that he was caught off guard and very scared by this great white. As the great white passes, you actually hear him scream as he's terrified for his life. Luckily, he did seem to have a harpoon with him, which he didn't have to use. But a harpoon is not always so effective against great whites. They move fast and could easily dodge it. And just imagine how scared this guy was being literally inches away from a great white shark. Thankfully, he not only made it out with his life, but also with amazing footage of his dive. Next up is Bear Chase. So we've just seen one very scary animal encounter underwater. Well, here's a very scary animal encounter above ground. One day, a guy going by the name Mr. McGregor was cycling out in the woods. He was riding around and it seems like quite a pleasant ride. But on his trail, as he glances to the right, you can see a massive brown bear start chasing him. As anyone would, he picks up a lot of speed and begins riding away. He does glance back quite a few times and you can see the bear chasing him very fast. You can also hear him terrified, breathing and panting heavily. Eventually, this guy does not get very lucky and a massive branch is in his way. Instead of going around it, he has no time and has to dump his bike and jump over the branch. He then runs away from the bear on foot and hides behind a tree. Miraculously, this actually worked and the bear didn't catch up with him. Bears can be very, very dangerous. If you ever see a bear, you should try and lie down and pretend that you're not alive. But seeing as the guy just had a massive bike race with the bear, I doubt the bear would buy that he wasn't alive. Luckily though, this guy made it out of the woods and out of this situation alive. Next up is Poltergeist. So this footage was captured on a GoPro by someone going by the name of Mellow Bird. Mellow Bird is actually one of the most famous people to have a poltergeist in their home. They've had many viral paranormal videos of ghosts and poltergeists in their house. One day he set his GoPro up on a rotator and left it overnight. When he looked at the footage the night later, he saw something very strange. His kitchen door opened but nobody walked in. Then one of the kitchen chairs at the kitchen table fell over. Most people would be terrified if they looked at their GoPro footage and saw this happening in their own home. But this guy's actually known for his poltergeists in his house. If you check out his channel, he's got many videos of similar things. Yeah, if my house was haunted, I definitely would not be doing that. But I guess Mellow Bird simply doesn't mind sharing his home with a bunch of ghosts. Next up is Real Subway Surfer. So I'm sure we're all familiar with the popular mobile game Subway Surfers. It's where you're trying to outrun a train by running down the tracks. Well, one day someone tried out real-life subway surfing, except they weren't running away from the trains. Instead, they were surfing on the trains themselves. This happened in Vienna, Austria, and was filmed by a guy going by Sky Joker. As a train pulls up to a platform, he nonchalantly hops on. He hangs onto the back and looks around all different kind of areas. Some of what he sees is very scenic, but it's all very scary. At various stops, he jumps off the train and onto different trains. This guy's only 22, and I just hope he lives to an old age. I really wouldn't be surprised if he was injured by doing this, but he is a thrill seeker and adrenaline junkie. And he says in his description, no one should ever try this. That I can agree with. Next up is jellyfish encounter. As kids, we're taught by cartoons and books that jellyfish are cute, squishy characters. But in reality, jellyfish are seriously dangerous and can take lives. One day, a boy named Daniel Lee was swimming out in the ocean. That was when he saw various jellyfish, which are very dangerous, swimming really near him. He managed to dodge their tentacles, which are electric. Thankfully, he wasn't buzzed once by any of these jellyfish. But if he was, it could have been very bad. He was in the ocean, and if some electric shocks sent him into a state, he could have drowned. Thankfully, he was fine and managed to dodge all of the tentacles. But not every swimmer is as good as Daniel, and it makes you think if the wrong person was there at the wrong time and wasn't as skilled, they could have been done for. Next up is train dodge. So we've already seen one very scary train video caught on GoPro, but instead of train surfing, we're going to look at train dodging. Train dodging is where you stand in front of a train and then move out of the way at the last minute. It may sound crazy and stupid to you, but to some people it's a real rush. They love the thrill and adrenaline, and Neil Manley is one of those people. One night, Neil and various friends went into this train tunnel. They were standing on the railways and near the trains. And then when the trains go by, they stand against the tunnel wall and lie next to the tracks. Thankfully and amazingly, these guys all made it out absolutely okay. But I can see so much potential for this going wrong. And you can see his friends screaming in fear as this is happening. Neil's videos get thousands of views of amazed people. But I wonder how many of those people are actually brave enough and or crazy enough to really do this. To be honest, I hope none, as this should never be repeated. Check out the poll in the top right corner to vote for the scariest GoPro video on this list. In my opinion, it's the creature caught by the cyclist. That is just so mysterious and unexplained as well as scary. If you guys want more amazing videos, then check out my second channel. There'll be a link to that on screen in a moment, and it's packed with amazing life hacks. But as always, thanks for watching. Check out some more videos on screen right now. Leave a like if you enjoyed it, and if you haven't already, what are you waiting for? Subscribe to Top 10s.